Good morning everyone. In this video, we are going to cover the current affairs. For mobile optimized ebooks, please install GKToday Academy app. For regular updates, please join our Telegram channel. The link is given in the description box. Now we have started a new channel, Civils Academy. You can subscribe to it if you find it relevant. Now let's start. What is the name of very large crude carrier hired by IOC Paradip refinery that has caught fire? So the name of this VLCC is New Diamond. What is VLCC? It is very large crude carrier. So this issue is about a oil tanker. The oil tanker of this VLCC caught fire and it was carrying crude oil for Paradip refinery from Kuwait. Now this refinery is in Odisha. What is IOC? It is Indian Oil Corporation, and recently it launched special NATO class diesel for Indian Navy. Recently Odisha was also in news as it became the first state in our country to get ISO certification for tribal hostels. Present tribal minister is Arjun Munda. Gem and Jewellery Export Promotion Council of India, that is GJEPC, organized first ever virtual buyer and seller meet for which precious stone or jewelry. So this was organized for loose diamonds. This was organized by GJEPC and it was inaugurated by the Joint Secretary of Ministry of Commerce and Industry. So this is related to the promotion of gems and jewelry. Now recently one more gem was in news and it is Government e-Marketplace. So this is gem like this. So why it was in news? Because Union Minister for Tribal Affairs Arjun Munda inaugurated Tribes India store on this Government e-Marketplace. Recently Tribal Affairs Ministry was also in news as it launched Swasthya. It is health and nutrition portal for tribes. Apart from that, it also launched Alekh. What is Alekh? It is e-newsletter on health and nutrition. So this one is portal, this one is e-newsletter. The Supreme Court refused to stay the order against which state's decision for compulsory English medium in schools. So this is related to Andhra Pradesh. Now let me just give you a brief background. So Andhra Pradesh government announced that English will only be the medium for government school students from class 1st to class 6th. So it made it compulsory. Now this was challenged in High Court and High Court struck it down. That means High Court struck down the decision of state government to make English as a medium of education for government schools. Now this decision of High Court was later challenged in Supreme Court and Supreme Court upheld that High Court was right and state government was wrong. And Supreme Court upheld that as per RTE, that is Right to Education Act of 2009, the medium of instruction shall be child's mother tongue. That means the child should be educated in his or her mother tongue rather than in English. Now similarly, in our new education policy also, there is a provision of 3 language. Of course, it is not mandatory, it is just a direction. So as per this new education policy, the students till class 5 should be taught in their mother tongue or in regional language or local language. So this was the entire issue. Which country has launched the Indo-Pacific strategy with India? So this country is Germany, and Germany has launched this Indo-Pacific strategy with India. Now Germany was also in news as recently it banned Hezbollah. Hezbollah is a militant group associated with Lebanon. Recently Lebanon was in news because of the blast in its capital and it is Beirut. And this blast was because of ammonium nitrate. Now Lebanon was also in news because of its new Prime Minister. Answer in comment box who is the new Prime Minister of Lebanon. Now after this blast there was huge devastation, and to restore the historic building or heritage building in Lebanon capital Beirut, UNESCO launched a new initiative and it is named as Beirut. So it is launched to restore the historical buildings which were damaged because of this blast. Now what is UNESCO? It is United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization. Scientists at ARIES Nainital have discovered a low concentration of ozone over which city compared to other urban areas. So this city is Guwahati. So this was discovered by ARIES Nainital. Now what is ARIES? It is Aryabhatta Research Institute of Observational Sciences. And this ARIES is Autonomous Research Institute under DST. What is DST? It is Department of Science and Technology. Now, as per this research, the scientists have discovered that in case of Guwahati, there is a low concentration of ozone. Now, DST was also in news because of various other programs. DST was in news because of Yash, it was in news because of Kavach initiative, and it was also in news because of Sahyog initiative. So please read about these initiatives. We have already covered these initiatives in our past video. India has finalized a deal with which country for manufacturing AK-47-203 rifles? So this country is Russia, and these will be manufactured in our own country. And this is going to be a joint venture, and it is IRRPL, that is India-Russia Rifles Private Limited. And these rifles are going to be the advanced version of AK-47, and these rifles will replace the INSAS assault rifle. Now coming back to Russia, Russia was also in news because of Indra. Indra is joint military exercise between India and Russia, and it is going to be organized in the Andaman Sea close to Strait of Malacca. Now Russia was also in news because of Caucasus military exercise, and India decided not to participate in this exercise. Russia was also in news because of SCO. SCO stands for Shanghai Cooperation Organization. So recently it was in news because of SCO Defense Ministers meeting, and our Defense Minister Rajnath Singh represented India, and this meeting held in Moscow in Russia. The headquarters of SCO is in Beijing in China. The Shipping Ministry has directed all major ports to procure or hire which type of ship that are only made in India. So the direction is about tugboats. That means the Ministry of Shipping has issued directions to all the major ports to procure or hire tugboats which are indigenous, that means which are made in India itself. Now what is the meaning of tugboat? So you can see this type of boat. So these are usually used for towing the vessel towards the harbor, and these can be used in the purpose of providing essential services like water or air to the main vessel. Now recently Ministry of Shipping was also in news as it waived off waterway usage charges for 3 years. Now answer in comment box, where is the headquarters of IWAI, that is Inland Waterways Authority of India, and this authority is under Ministry of Shipping, and this is the nodal authority for inland waterways. Which institute along with IISER Tirupati has developed a hybrid sterilization system that decontaminates PPE? So it is IIT Tirupati. IIT Tirupati in collaboration with IISc. So it is IIT Tirupati. So IIT Tirupati in collaboration with IISER have developed a new technology, and name is hybrid sterilization system. So these can decontaminate PPE. What is the meaning of decontamination? It means removal of the dangerous substances or elimination of bacteria and germs. So it is the reverse of contamination process. Which organization has released a report titled Enhancing Nationally Determined Contributions? So this organization is UNEP, that is United Nations Environment Program. Recently UNEP was also in news because of a new publication, and it is the Little Book of Green Nudge. It has been launched by UNEP. Now UNEP was formed in 1972, and it was formed on 5th of June in 1972. 5th of June is also celebrated as World Environment Day. The headquarters of UNEP is in Nairobi, and Nairobi is in Kenya. Recently Kenya was in news as it has been elected as the non-permanent member of UNSC, that is United Nations Security Council. So 5 countries got elected as non-permanent member of United Nations Security Council. These 5 are India, Kenya, Mexico, Ireland and Norway. So these 5 countries have been elected as the non-permanent member of United Nations Security Council for a period of 2 years, and their term will start from 1st of January 2021. Which trade association of India has launched Future Business Group? So this has been launched by CII, that is Confederation of Indian Industry, and the idea is to create a national strategy for future business, and this was done in collaboration with DPIIT. What is DPIIT? It is Department for Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade, and this is under Commerce Ministry. Now, the president of CII is Uday Kotak. Recently, CII was also in news as it established a new forum on AI, that is Artificial Intelligence, and it has been established under Sandeep Patel. What is the name of N95 decontaminating equipment developed by IIT Delhi incubated startup Chakr? So it has been developed by Chakr Deco, and this is IIT Delhi incubated startup. This has been developed to decontaminate the N95 equipment. So this has been designed in the shape of a cabinet, as you can see here, and it uses the ozone gas for cleaning the pores of N95 mask, and therefore it ensures that the decontamination process is 100% successful. Which state has approved its new information technology policy for next 5 years? So this state is Karnataka. Recently, Karnataka was also in news as it will have India's first toy manufacturing cluster. Karnataka was also in news as it is going to be the first state in our country to implement NEP, that is National Education Policy. On the other hand, Madhya Pradesh is the first state in our country to offer government jobs on the basis of CET, that means on the basis of CET scores. Bangladeshi vessel named MV Premier made a trial run to Tripura through which river? So this river is Gumti, and this trial run will increase the connectivity between India, that means our northeast part of India, and Bangladesh. Now recently Bangladesh was also in news because of Mujib Barso. So government of Bangladesh has announced that 2020-2021 will be celebrated as Mujib year on the occasion of 100th birth anniversary of Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, and Sheikh Mujibur Rahman was the founding father of Bangladesh. Bangladesh was also in news as recently Vikram Dorai Swamy was appointed as India's next High Commissioner to Bangladesh. Bangladesh was also in news because of Bhashan Char Island, and this island was in news because of Rohingya issue. Wilmington, which has been declared as a World War II heritage city, is located in which country? So this is located in USA. Why it was in news? Because it has been declared as World War II heritage city, and it is in North Carolina. Now recently USA was also in news because of USMCA. What is USMCA? It is US-Mexico-Canada agreement. So it is a trade agreement between these three countries, and it is a successor of NAFTA. What is NAFTA? It is North American Free Trade Agreement. Now these three countries will host 2026 FIFA World Cup as well, and this is going to be the first time that this tournament will be hosted by three countries. On the other hand, 2022 FIFA World Cup will be hosted by Qatar. Capital of Qatar is Doha. Recently Doha was in news because of the agreement between USA and Taliban. Taliban is a militant group of Afghanistan. Recently Qatar was also in news because of Khafala system. What is the name of typhoon that hit North Korea recently? So the name of typhoon is Mesha. It is second typhoon in a week that hit the Korean peninsula. Another powerful typhoon was Bavi, which hit the Korean peninsula. Now, recently North Korea was also in news as European Union has imposed the sanctions over the cyber attack on the organizations of three countries, and these three countries are Russia, China, and North Korea. The key BIMSTEC meeting held in September 2020 was organized under the chairmanship of which country? So this was organized under Sri Lanka. BIMSTEC stands for Bay of Bengal Initiative for Multi-Sectoral, Technical and Economic Cooperation. Now it is important to note that BIMSTEC was established in 1997, and after 23 years of establishment, its charter was finalized during this last BIMSTEC meeting, and this was under the chairpersonship of Sri Lanka. Now total 7 countries are the members of BIMSTEC. So these 7 countries are BBIN, MTS. So these are the countries for BIMSTEC. For SAARC, the countries are MBBS, PAIN, that is MBBS Spain. For ASEAN, the member countries are BPLTV, MMICS. The secretariat of BIMSTEC is in Dhaka. Dhaka is in Bangladesh. Which organization has developed solar-based water sprayers to be used in agricultural feed? So this organization is CSIR, that is Council of Scientific and Industrial Research, and CSIR-CMERI have developed these solar-based spray system to tackle the water crisis in agriculture sector. Now, what is CMERI? It is Central Mechanical Engineering Research Institute, and this institute is under CSIR. Recently, it was also in news. That means the CSIR-CMERI was also in news as it has developed the world's largest solar tree, and this tree is in Durgapur in West Bengal. So these were the most important questions of today's video. Now we are going to cover important news. Feel free to skip it if you do not like the format, but please make sure that you cover these events from any other shows. Now, first news is related to PSL, that is primary sector lending. So recently RBI announced some changes in the guidelines related to PSL, and as per that, few new categories were included, and three main components were loan to the farmers for installation of solar power plant. Second component is loan for establishment of CBG plant. What is CBG? It is compressed biogas. And third is to provide loan to the startups up to 50 crore. So these three have been the key highlights of this new guidelines issued by RBI in the context of primary sector lending. Now, it is important to note that recently startup sector was included in this PSL. That means RBI granted PSL status to the startups. Next is India's first regional voters awareness center. So this one is going to be in Jaipur. Jaipur is in Rajasthan. Next is LC Goyal. So recently LC Goyal was in news as he was given an extension of tenure as the CMD of ITPO. What is ITPO? It is India Trade Promotion Organization. Next is iRakhwali. So this is an app which has been launched by Punjab government to protect the environment in Punjab. Next is English Pro app. So recently this was launched by MOE. MOE stands for Ministry of Education. So this was launched by Ramesh Pokhriyal Nishank. Next is 5th September. So it was celebrated as Teachers Day in our country. Apart from that, it was also celebrated as International Day of Charity. Why Teachers Day is celebrated in our country on 5th of September? Because it is the birth anniversary of Dr. Sarvepalli Radhakrishnan, and he was the first vice president of our country, and he was the second president of our country. Next is Raj Srivastav. So recently he was appointed as India's ambassador to Republic of Croatia. Next is Prahlad Singh Patel. So Mr. Patel is our current Minister of Culture, and recently he represented India in the BRICS Culture Ministers meeting. BRICS stands for Brazil, Russia, India, China and South Africa. So this meeting was organized virtually. Next is Pierre Gasly. So recently he won the F1 Italian Grand Prix. Next is Ayushman Khurrana. So recently Ayushman Khurrana was appointed as the brand ambassador of Bajaj Allianz Life Insurance. Next is Dwayne Bravo. So cricketer Dwayne Bravo became the ambassador for, that means brand ambassador for SBO Top. So it is a sports book brand. Next is Ian Bell. So Ian Bell is a cricketer from England, and recently he announced his retirement. Next is From Insights to Action, Gender Equality in the Wake of COVID-19. So this is a report which has been released by UN Women in association with UNDP. And as per this report, the COVID-19 will push 47 million women in poverty. So this is a huge number. And if you are writing any essay or something like that on COVID-19, you can quote this. That means it will push 47 million more women into poverty. So this will further aggravate the inequality in the society. Next is State of Young Child in India. So this is a project of mobile crèches. It is a non-governmental organization and it has released two reports. First is YCOI. What is YCOI? It is Young Child Outcomes Index, and second is Young Child Environment Index. So these two index has been released as per this State of Young Child in India project of mobile crèches. Mobile crèches is a non-governmental organization. Next is Blood Gold. So this term was in news recently. Now it was in news because of Yanomami people. So Yanomami live in the areas of Brazil and Venezuela, and these are the tribes in South America. Now why they were in news recently? Because illegal gold miners are killing these people, and therefore these gold mines or the gold from these mines is called as blood gold. Now, recently they requested India that India should stop buying this gold, and that's why they were in news. They are tribes in South America and they are found in northern Brazil and southern Venezuela. And last news of the day is 12th meeting of Mekong-Ganga cooperation. So this 12th meeting itself is not that much important, but this Mekong-Ganga cooperation is important. And it has 6 countries: India, Thailand, Myanmar, Cambodia, Laos and Vietnam. So these are the 6 countries. So that was all for the day. Thank you.